Oh yeah, I have to prepare for rejection because this is a rejection industry. It's a rejection industry to the core. Nothing personal. All right? Nothing personal. You gotta be on top of your game. So I don't mind. To me, if you don't want me, it's your loss. I know what I'm bringing on the table. All right? I'm not forcing myself. I'm that kind of guy where it's like, it is what it is. Take it or leave it kind of guy. If I'm not good enough for you, it's your business. I don't really, with all due respect, I have made things for myself and I've enabled a whole lot more other people for me to wait for you to come and what would you do for me really? God does it for me. So of course, when you reject me, I want to know why. I want to know what I can do better. All right? It's more competitive for me knowing that there is the chances of a rejection, and then I will now, kind of try and make sure I can do much better so that there's no room for the rejection. Of course, you submit your films, for example, film festivals, you're going to get some that will take it, some will reject it. So that's rejection. But I'm not really the guy that would be going for auditioning for me to come back and waiting for you to actually give me the go-ahead or feel bad that I've been rejected. I don't do that. If you want me in your film, you contact me. You tell me which role you want me to play. And I know I will deliver. I have delivered. And I will continue to deliver. So I don't really see myself in that position where I will present myself to be rejected in a project. If I'm not suitable for it, I'm not suitable for it. Simple as that. In terms of working as a partner, you gotta gain from me, I'm gonna gain from you. It's a win-win situation. All right? So, hey, if we are not compatible, we are not compatible. So I can deal with that. All right? But it's a rejection industry. At the end of the day, you go for the best for what you're looking for. And if I don't get what I'm looking for, I know when to cut the cost and then go and look for where else I can get what I'm looking for. Because there are so many doors, my friend. There are so many doors. If the doors are not open, when I knock on them, you know what I'm going to do? I'll climb out through the window. All right? So the window is still there. If I knock on the door and it's not opening, I climb out of the window. So hey, that's what it is. All right? So I know how I try my best to handle rejections and also cope. But it can be painful, but at the same time, I don't let it get under my skin. Well, definitely social distancing. At the end of the day, when it comes to filmmaking, the risk is there. You may have, put all the things you want to put in place, like obviously tested people for COVID and they are maybe free. But then, how many people would go back and come back? Are you going to put everybody in the same house to make sure they don't go out and get, exposed to somebody else who may have COVID? So we just have to manage the delicate situation, because at the end of the day, there are people who are asymptomatic, and they come out very proper and they look okay, but you don't know they're carrying the virus. And then you see someone who is coughing and sneezing. You say, oh, they got COVID. They might got it. They may have it. They might. And it's common cold. How do you tell? All right? So it would affect, okay, if you have a set where two people have to kiss each other, are you going to now say, okay, maintain social distancing and kiss in the air? You got to come together and rub body and kiss. Yeah? So it would affect the whole natural, tempo of production. But, I mean, there is light at the end of the tunnel. We know the vaccines are coming. Recent news we've had, if people are vaccinated, then at least they would feel comfortable and confident in living their normal life back again. So I'm so looking forward to 2021 because I believe at least maybe this 2020 is just how the year was programmed, that it's going to be a year of disruption. But mind you, some people made a lot of money out of this bad year, if you like. Some people were doing great things, with all this, new technology, Zoom, team meetings and all of that, the new way we do things. Now, there are so many deals that we are being closed just on Zoom meeting alone. We have film festival that we run every year. We do in-person film festival. But this year we are doing it virtually for the first time. So we are learning new trick. We're learning new ideas. And come 2021, we might be able to join the two, in-person plus virtual, as part of the film festival. That way we can do some of the film festival, the screening, the networking, like seminars, talk, online. And then the last day we do in person where everybody gather and watch the film together and probably have a meal and dance and whatever. So we can now look at combining the two,
Well, kids, it's been 2 years.
Not looking good, is it?
Operation Red Hawk is on the brink of collapse.
I want him gone.
You owe me a lot of cash.
I need you to bring down Ackerman Jack.
Hey, it's me.
Amber!
Listen to your friend, Dana.
You don't know what
Dana,
you've done!
come on!
Oi, what's this?
Handle with care, babe.
Don't like being away, though.
What is that?
Lucy, get down here now! What is your offer? Oh, police! Stop with your weapons!
Well, of course, we know now that essentially because of this COVID, we've come to a situation where most things are done online. So every filmmaker should be looking at their online strategy, virtual strategy, because it's no longer business as usual. It's no longer about the big, Disney World, Universal Studio, controlling everything, releasing. How many films were they able to release this year? So when you look at it, here's the deal. You have to position yourself, take this opportunity of COVID to align yourself on the strategy of virtual release. All right? When you've done your film, start looking at how is that film going to be released virtually. So you must now start learning how many platforms. Just because you hear about Netflix and Amazon Prime doesn't mean that they are the only ones there. You see, one thing with most of us is once we have one name, everybody goes, Netflix, 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 Netflix. I want to get it on net. Yes, Netflix is a big, big one. But it doesn't have to be Netflix forever. There are competitors. There are other platforms coming up. What about HBO? What about Apple? What about... There are other Hulu. You know about Hulu? There are other big platforms out there that will compete with Netflix. Do you know about them? Do you know their criteria? Do you know how to submit there? Do you know about platforms that will submit to so many other platforms and they are all based online? Where you submit your film, make sure your deliverables are intact. Submit, like for example, your poster should be designed in maybe different, about 9 to 10 different shapes. You know, 3x1, 4x9, 6x9. You know, they will give you the ratios and the criteria, the specs that they want. When you're designing your flyer, you don't just do A5 or A4. Look for how many that they need and the quality so that your designer can design them there and then at the same time. Because you don't want to go back to the designer and say, okay, come and do me this one, do me. Give your designer straight away all those specs because you've bothered to go and find out what they require so that you package your film for online submissions. Because once they accept your film, they can push it across to so many other platforms. Don't be thinking about, oh, just film premiere and that's it. Okay, look at this. Most film festivals are doing mostly virtual film festivals. So your content should be virtual compatible, right? So that when you are online, you've loaded your film probably on Film Freeware or other platforms, maybe Google Drive or whatever. It's all ready. Your posters are intact. Then your deliverables like your closed captioning, you may translate your film in other languages like French and Spanish and Italian or Arabic. Have other subtitling. One thing you don't really need to do is you don't need to burn your subtitle into your film. Keep it clean. Then the subtitle, you can have your closed captions in different multi-language or subtitling in different languages. Then have a clean master so that when you submit, you can now send them the SRT version of your closed captions, right? Some will use SCC, but SRT is most preferable. So you have your closed caption or subtitle in different multi-languages. So when you submit your posters, submit those closed, because again, if you're looking for international audience, you want to make sure that your film can be seen by as many eyeballs as possible across the world, right? So if your film can make it in Japan or China or, French, again, is a big one, Spanish, they might want to put a caption so that they turn it on when they want it. Or if your film is being seen in, maybe they're just screening it in a public place, they want to turn on the caption so people can understand what language, in their own language, what your film is made of. Because your film might be made in English, but then you have the caption in the native language that you're looking for. Always build these things in your development, in part of your budget when you're planning. Make sure you have budget for languages that you may be targeting. Not when you finish making your film, you submit it, you say, oh, if I wish I could have had it in French, I could have had it in... Plan them as you're planning the film and say, You know, for you to have your film translated in other languages, you need to have your dialogue transcript. Make sure the writer knows that when they submit the script, they give you also the dialogue transcript, which is the dialogues only without descriptions. All right? So, you have your dialogue transcript. Easily, you can then send it to someone that specializes in closed captioning or subtitling. Let them be part of your packaging, your discipline as you're making film. Start thinking as a producer, a pro, as to where this film is going to go. Not just making a film and thinking very shallow and being very narrow-minded, you know? Yeah, don't be trapped in narrow-mindedness. Be more wide. Think about who will see this film, which territories you're going to go, because it shows you that you are ready to hit the world. So when your project is done and is clean and is good, you're already in this position to pass it across as many eyeballs as possible in different countries. Okay, so let's go back to Ortega. I submitted Ortega to an American-based film distributor, and they watched the film, loved the film, but I had sound problem. Sound being, it wasn't that we weren't able to watch the film. We watched the film in cinema, we sold out 3 screens and all of that. But because my sound was not up there, I didn't get that deal. And for a distributor to tell you that they were about to sign you off, but for the sound, and there's nothing you can do about it, because it would mean tearing the whole film apart again and doing, ADR and all of that. That is a huge lesson for me. I cannot reshoot that film to get the sound the way I would have had it. But then, did I do my homework? Yes, I did the research, and I made sure my next project, which is Return of the Dawn, my sound was 5.1. All right? I said from day one, I want 5.1. That's what I want. And I achieved 5.1 with Return of the Dawn. Had I known what I knew, I would have done 5.1 for Ortega, and I would have sold that film to that American distributor that had seen the film, loved the project, loved everything, but just couldn't take it because of the sound. The best pathway for you to succeed is to have a roadmap. You have to have a roadmap. You have to have a plan. You need to know what exactly you want to achieve. Where are you going? Where are you coming from? All right? You need to be structured and focused. All right? You need to take it one step at a time. Have, realistic targets. There's no rushing. Just work your way up. All right? So to succeed, you have to know that, yes, you have a talent in acting, you have a talent in producing, you have a talent in directing. My friend, talent alone can't cut it. Talent alone is not good enough. Or it's not enough. It's good, but it's not enough. It's a very competitive world. So you have to have the talent, but you have to have the asset. Asset for an actor, for example, is what's your social capital? Yes, you're an actor, you can do very well at this. So what? There are other actors who can do very well. So why should I pick you? What have you got apart from that talent. Your mind should not be going where you think it's going. What I'm talking about is how many followers do you have on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram? How many people would view your content if you were to put something there? If you tell me, put yourself in my position. If you have, say, for example, 2 million followers on Instagram or on Twitter or on YouTube, another actor that maybe is exactly the same as you in terms of talent, but they've got only like 1,000 followers. Who do you think I'll give the role? There you go. So understand that you have to build your social capital in a way that a filmmaker putting you in a film wants eyeballs. And the more social capital, like asset you have, the more likely they will want you to be in the film. Because talent alone is good, but it's not enough. And you have time to start building these things over time. Don't just come out of nowhere and say, I can act, I can act, I can act. And then when you get rejected, you say, oh, they're not giving you the opportunity. You have to start building. There is a lot of opportunities for building your social capital. Some people are on TikTok. They're just doing what they're doing. Some are messing around. Some are copying other people. And they're getting views. Some people are getting 20K, 40K views. They are being sensational. They are hitting the audience. They are getting known. In YouTube, for example, you have more celebrities now produced by YouTube than Hollywood. People are becoming richer, and more popular. On YouTube alone, they haven't even done anything in Hollywood or in films. So producers are going on YouTube looking for those that has that following. Because when they cast them in their film, they draw their audience to the film. And all you need is just an iPhone, an Android, make content, create content, post, build your audience slowly over time. You're not going to do it within a day or 2 months or 1 year. Just continue to build your audience over time. I started LinkedIn, ordinary LinkedIn, just normal exchange of contacts. Before I knew it, I had going to 14,000 connections on LinkedIn. 14,000. I wasn't even taking it that seriously. So you'd be surprised if you're consistent, you're doing something. It doesn't have to cost you that much to have something on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. Just keep going over time. Whilst you harness your talent as an actor, go and do your acting classes. Make sure you understand how to act for a camera, how to play for camera, how to perform in a set, discipline yourself, attitude, all those things. I have a number of people that inspire me, and I'm not going to go into just calling names for the sake of calling names, but they are really true gems, people that I really look up to. I love what they do. I have to say, Bill Duke is one of my, legends. Yes, definitely Denzel Washington, I do admire a lot. Spike Lee, yeah. all I can say is continue to understand, your calling. Are you really called to do this? Try and have a discussion with yourself. Find out really why you're doing this. What is motivating you? What do you want to put out there? All right? Make sure you have a roadmap. All right? Discover yourself. Don't wait for anybody to discover you. All right? Try and make sure you remember why you have chosen to be an actor, to be a producer, to be a director. Nobody should deter you from that calling so that you can continue to go far. Learn from every mistake that you've made. Make sure that you look at other people's mistakes. Learn from them. Focus. Do not allow rejection to knock you out of your dream, because it's a rejection industry.